Michael Morrison, and this is Blueprint Briefs, Black Men Navigating Tech. Can we get a round of applause really quickly? I just want to get some energy in here. Excellent. We have a great panel discussion here. We have three gentlemen who work in tech. I'll have them introduce themselves. We have Jamila Savage, who is outside. I'm sorry. She runs the Seton Hall Center in 2 Gateway.
Welcome. Seton Hall is always proud to partner with People Space, and we love the opportunity to work with Michael on his fantastic endeavor. Apologies for the music. But we're just very happy that you're all here to hear from these amazing men that are leaders in their field and industry, and we're very happy to have you. And Seton Hall is happy to be a part of Newark Tech Week with People Space.
Thank you. And we have Dante on the camera and on the AV. So let's give a round of applause for him. For anyone who wasn't able to make it today, this conversation will be on YouTube afterwards, so you can let the people know who know that we're going to be here, that we're supposed to be here. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and hop right into it. I want to have all of these gentlemen introduce themselves, and then we're going to hop right into the questionings.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Dalvin Sejour, first generation Haitian American. Graduated from Montclair State, moved out to Silicon Valley about 5 years ago. Worked in the Bay for about a bit. Did the whole COVID thing out there. Been in the industry as a software engineer for 7 years. Run a freelance agency called Dalvin Digital Design, where I build websites for folks. In grad school right now, getting dog at Georgia Tech. So feel free to ask me any questions.
Nice to meet y'all. I'm Kwasan Lindsay. Did about 3.5 years at Bloomberg. I'm currently at the Fed now as a data analyst. Got my bachelor's at Felician University. I just finished grad school at LSU for my MBA with a concentration in data analytics. I'm from Newark, born and raised, and it's great to meet all y'all. It's definitely good energy in the room.
Hey everyone, my name is Nanayao Ajiman, and I'm an AVP product manager at a financial tech company, and I'm currently a CEO and founder of my own application. Just launched it about, I think last week, October 4th, audio ebook application to make learning and reading books more interactive and immersive. And I was the past president of Blacks in Technology for New York City chapter.
And one more thing I forgot. I'm an author. I'm usually real chill and humble, but feel free to check this out. I'll pass it around the room and everything like that once we start networking. But yeah.
Appreciate you.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. My first question for you all is, what inspired each of you to pursue a career in tech, and how has your journey evolved since you started?
Wow. So I got my first computer in when I was 5. It was like a gateway. I remember driving down Route 22 by where Costco was, Best Buy right there, got the laptop, and nobody in the house knew how to set it up. So I was the one who was like the in-home IT specialist. Power went out, fixed the computer, and that stuck with me. I went to Montclair undecided, didn't know what I wanted to do, but that initial inkling when I was younger, I was like, all right, let me do that. Took the computer science class. Well, I majored in IT. Didn't see nobody that looked like me, but I was like, there's something here and I need to pursue it. So I took IT because it was easier and because I didn't have to do the calculus. And then I got a minor in computer science, and then I got an internship at Facebook as an intern doing marketing. So I was there for a minute, and I was like, man, I could either go this lane and continue being a marketing major, or I could continue doing this tech stuff. I actually didn't get a return offer because my manager found out I was building apps on the side instead of doing my intern assignment. So I was like, I'm forced to do it anyway. So I did a program called Code 2040 where I got to intern out in the Bay for a summer. I have a cousin that ironically lived in Oakland, so I spent the summer out there. And I was like, wow, this tech stuff is dope. I need to do it out there. So when I graduated from Montclair, I either got the chance to work in New York or move. So I was like, let me dip and figure it out. 6 months later, COVID happened. So I'm out in the Bay and I can't come back immediately. So I was like, let me just figure it out. And the higher you go in my field as a software engineer, the less you see people that look like you. And it's like easy, kind of like computer science classes in undergrad. They kind of weed you out in the initial phases to see if you like will stay and stick with it. So I stuck with it. Toxic managers, imposter syndrome, all that is just in my head. Add a world pandemic on top of it. That's all I had to figure it out. I had just had my son too while out there, so I was like, man, if you lose your job in the Bay, it's like you have 1 month to survive before you need to go back home and figure it out. So stuck with it. I love it now. I like think about code every day, whether I like it or don't. And that's just kind of like my inkling. And now I'm trying to figure out how to get more people to get into tech because it is such an awesome career. So glad to see so many people out here trying to stick with it, even with AI, even though people are like, oh, they're replacing software engineers, replacing people in IT. If you all the people who's talking all that nonsense is usually people trying to market a service to you. So I feel like once you get the noise out, you'll figure it out. I feel like I'm chatting, so you can.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, brother. Can you repeat the question again? I want to make sure I'm touching on all
What
of it.
inspired you to pursue a career in tech, and how has your journey evolved since you started?
Okay. Now I'll let the brother come in first.
Yeah, come in.
So what inspired me to pursue tech? My path was not the traditional path. I didn't study engineering or anything in undergrad. I went and I studied business administration, which is very broad, right? If I can go back, I would definitely study some form of engineering. My mentality when I went into college, like I played ball, right? From Newark, you either got hoop dreams or you rap or something like that. So I'm playing ball, I'm thinking, I'm gonna go overseas or something like that. And two, I tore my meniscus, right? And that's cliche, you hear that a lot. A lot of people get injured that comes from the inner city, right? And they don't know how to pivot. So fortunately, I was always into like the stock market and things like that. So while I was playing ball, I was like teaching myself and educating myself. So I taught myself Python, I taught myself SQL and all the technical languages and things like that. But when I graduated, it was still hard to find a job. I actually started off as a teacher. I was teaching at Barringer High School, teaching kids financial literacy, juniors and seniors, but I was always teaching myself the stock market and, the technical aspect and things like that. So it wasn't a traditional path, but I'm glad that I did make that shift. It was around 2021. I was just on data camp. They say self-education is the best education. So yeah, just head down, YouTube, data camp, watching videos on the best technical language to learn, Python and SQL and things like that. And I got my break at Bloomberg. Did about 3.5 years there, breaking down companies, financial models and things like that. But I didn't really enjoy equity research as much. But I didn't enjoy it as much as far as work, but I took it for myself, and now I know how to break down a company personally when I want to invest. But I was more interested in data and technology and that intersection. So yeah, I'm glad I made that shift. But if I can go back, or if you guys have any young siblings or anything like that that's interested in tech, I'll say, when they go to college, really try to push them to go into like a STEM field like engineering or something like that, because it really shifts their mindset. When you thinking from in engineering terms, you think in terms of processes and workflows and orders of steps, and it applies to everything in life. So yeah, that's my takeaway.
Um,
Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you all for coming.
in regards to me too, it was like a non-traditional path. I wanted to be a lawyer. I went to school for poli sci and jurisprudence with a minor in public administration. Then I got my master's a year later for law and governance. My aunt mom, who adopted me, she adopted 7 siblings and she was struggling. So I was like, I needed to get into the workforce, right? I got a job at New York Life as a new business analyst, project manager. Any job, even when I got hired at ShopRite, any place, right? Whatever I was hired to do didn't end up to be what I was doing. It took a while for them to train me, and then I started learning other things. So I started doing Salesforce trailheads. I was able to complete 34 trailheads at the time before they actually taught me my real role. So by the time I got to there, I had to do financial and modeling in regards to reporting. Fidelity was 90% of our business, right? One in regards to when did they come in, developing the dashboards, things like that. Then I started getting more high-level projects because he's like, yo, you got this, right? So decreasing the death claims from an annuity standpoint. And then when COVID happened, we had to do, so for annuities, when a policy gets issued, people get a policy welcome kit. That starts something called a free look period, in which is 45 days in which people can terminate their contracts to get their money back. Since it was a manual process, it didn't start that free look period during COVID. So I found a way for us to deliver it electronically to clients. If you guys don't know what annuities are, a retirement vehicle, a lot of people are 60 plus years. So they never received an outbound call from this company that's been around for like 75 plus years, right? So they thought it was a scam. So now you have to teach them how to receive electronic email and then, basically receive the welcome kit. Fast forward, LinkedIn reached out to me. A company from LinkedIn reached out to me, Simon Markets. It was a small startup company that spun from iCapital Network. It spun from Goldman Sachs. So they reached out to me in order to be intermediary between, based on my annuity knowledge, between the education aspect of the platform and the marketplace aspect of the platform. So again, I kind of fell into tech. I thought finance or corporate was 1 year stint before I go into law. I got into the company. They took 3 weeks to train me. Again, I was playing 2K. My 2K character went to like a 94 in 3 weeks. I was getting paid more money I was getting paid at New York Life. And I was playing a video game from 9 a.m. to 1:30. I'm like, I love this job, right? So they started teaching me, and they wanted me to be intermediary, but I took them more like into the marketplace. And they started mentioning, it will take 2 sprints. It will do this. I'm like, who's running, right? No one explained any technical concept, nothing to me. So I had to go get my CSM in order to like learn the sprints, to just understand what was going on, the iterations, the agile methodologies, and things like that. Then I started taking a more of a liking into it. It came to a thing that became a turning point. There was like, we have these 5 products that we need you guys to onboard, right? So I was working with the quant, backend, UI, and UX engineers. There was like, I'm gonna give you the priority in order to do it because we're behind. I was looking over it on the weekend. I was like, I think I figured it out. It's like it was like a puzzle. Like I was interested. Came back Monday. I was like, all of them are complete. After that, they just gave me the entire annuities aspect of our platform. And right now I own the entire product schema when it comes to our annuities at our company. And we got bought out. They retained me, and my manager doesn't know what I do, so I do whatever. But I've liked it ever since because it's like, not only like whenever I'm seeing all these layoffs and things like that, it's that since I was able to corner a part of the business in which the quant people didn't want or the back end people didn't want, and I now have complete ownership on it of it. Now I have like job security, right? And I don't have to worry about it, and that made me stick in the tech field because I'm like, I can make lawyer money without like the depth, and it's like I'm still using the same principles in regards to analytic communications, talking, and as a product manager, I'm an intermediary between the business side as well as the engineer side. So I'm probably not as technical as them, but in regards to a product manager, a lot of these tech companies, if you see like YouTube, like a lot of these CEOs used to be former product managers, right? And you don't need to know how to code. You don't need to, like, there's technical product managers, but there's certain people in which if you understand where you need to go and how it's supposed to function, right? Sometimes you just need vision, and as they say, sometimes C students like run the companies, right? While they have people that smarter than them do the things that they need to do. I think a misconception is that you need like I'm hearing a lot of people doing like labs and courses and things like that, is that you need this mass amount of certification or you need to code or know a language, right? That's a huge misconception, right? Like Taco Bell is tech, McDonald's is tech, right? When you go to these tech conferences, these are the people that have booths setting up there. You could be tech, you could be HR in tech, you could be a program manager in tech, you could be a project manager in tech, right? That all the technical jobs aren't just software engineers, technical product managers, UI, UX designers, engineers, and things like that. There's so many things that you could do from a job standpoint in tech. And sometimes like it's easy to get these certifications, right? Like sometimes the certifications doesn't equate to your actual you doing the job, right? And sometimes a lot of these jobs you may learn the concepts from here, but they may utilize the application of things completely different, right? So you could be like, I know Salesforce, I know code in here. However, the way they code or what programming or what software they use is completely different, right? So to me, a lot of people when they're going into tech or thinking about breaking into tech, one thing I think people need to focus on is the networking, right? It's not always about the knowledge, it's about who you know, right? A lot of people, I think the CEO of Shipped, and I think Ben knows the CEO of Shipped. He came from Target, so Shipped spun off Target, right? And he would tell you anytime he's having a conference or meeting, is that I am a CEO of a tech company and I know nothing about tech. Like, so it's a big misconception that you need 50 million certifications and stuff in order to break into tech, right? Sometimes you just need to meet the right people to give you a chance, or you having the basic, necessities of things to do in order to get into these spaces and these things, right? Internships, apprenticeships, things like that. That's something we all overlook. We go spend $800, get these certs, go to these conferences, and think we're gonna land a job. It's not necessarily that. It's whoever you meet and people taking a chance on you, and the connections that you make, right? I met Ben through Black Men in Tech, right? And it's those connections. People are getting roles just being in those spaces, right? What does Denzel say? Like, if I go to a barbershop long enough, eventually I'll get a haircut, right? It's the same exact concept, right? So sometimes those certifications may not equal to you actually fulfilling the role.
Misconceptions.
I think the elephant in the room now is that AI is gonna replace everybody's jobs. Why should I get into tech right now with AI? I use AI every day at work, and it's not that good. It's like, I feel like it's very junior and it's very rudimentary, but once it gets off the beaten path, it doesn't know how to function. And I feel like that's kind of where you all need to just put your foot in the door and like open that door wide open. A lot of these companies hire you for you. Like, get around all the racism and all the barriers to entry. Once you're in the door, it's kind of like you're floating, you're in your zone. And I feel like it's literally always just that one yes. You just flip that and just keep using that one yes to get more yeses. But I feel like now also more than ever, you're going to see a new wave of freelancers, people creating LLCs in order to not go to a 9 to 5, but start and getting that experience today. Like, J. Cole says it the best: fake it till you made it, then I made it, then I faked it. I'm 7 years into this and I still don't know what I'm doing. People that I work with don't know what they're doing. They tell me this every day. So I'm like, what's the difference between me and you? We bleed the same blood. Some of them don't even go as hard as you in the education space too. And like, they have less education. You get there, they be like, yeah, I took a weekend boot camp, now I'm here. Or they know that head of HR or something. So you put in so much more work just to like get to zero. And you find out that half of these people don't even know what they doing. So it's like, at that point, I think the computer. Yeah. Yeah. So at that point, it's like some people, the thing you find out is that nobody know what they doing. And that's like the beautiful thing about it, because then you prop yourself up to look like you know what you're doing long enough Then you start believing in yourself, and then you start executing. Then you start having opinions. When I go to a new company, I don't talk and give my opinion for the first 3 months because I need to know what y'all do here. Because the stuff that you do in the past might not even be relevant to what they talking about. And some people make that mistake that you need to know every single thing. People don't even know what they doing. So like that's like the beautiful part about it. Like with all this AI nonsense going on, it's a bunch of slop. So use this opportunity to sharpen up, fake the experience. When I say fake it, church need a website, do it. They need IT, do it. Make an LLC. I got XYZ LLC in name, and you did some contract work. That's experience. People want experience. So if you fake it till you make it, that's like the first way in, and then the rest figures itself. Of course, there's bias, there's this, there's that, but let's not worry about that. Let's just get in the door because nobody know what they're doing.
Davin, I'm gonna keep it on you. What soft skills, not technical, have been the most prominent for you to get yourself through the door and through your career?
I needed a lot of polishing, so I'm from Irvington, so I grew up, went to Irvington High, went to Chancellor, Union Middle, Irvington High. I actually went to high school with Wildness right there. So it's like there's so many things that other people under schools have that you don't have, not like credentials wise, just like how to write a formal resume and stuff like that. So I had to go to this weekend program at school called America Needs You, which was like the first one. They got me right. They helped me with my cover letter. They helped me just like how to write a formal email, because those are like reps that, because you can't talk crazy in the email. So there's like polishing that I had to go through. I think one thing that I do now, I read a lot of like articles, like anything that you want to learn, you could probably find in an article like Quora, Reddit. Reddit is like the best source of like real knowledge that you want from professionals. Like that's like, forget LinkedIn, forget Twitter. You want to know how people really feel, go on Reddit. There'd be millionaires, there'd be people that be working at Facebook for 8 years in the career that you want. They drop in gems, and you just gotta find the right thread. So it's a lot of finding mentors, having people that look like me tell me like, don't say this, do this. Black men in tech. I'm a product of programs. That's kind of like been my thing, because I really don't know what I don't know. So you find your tribe. Now you got people telling you how much they make in the interview, or like their salary. Like once you get past the like being transparent with your friends, you create like it's kind of like a mastermind. Like I got text threads that I've been in for 8 years, and we just like, yo, I got an interview coming up. Tell me how to prepare. Let's hop on a Google. Let's practice. There's how many people in this room right here? Y'all need to make a group to like feed off each other, because that's frankly the only way I made it. I had people feeding me information. Whether it's somebody met at a job 8 years ago that I hit up once every year for advice, or somebody I met at a boot camp at school or something. It's just a trading of information that has polished me along the way. I think at this point I know somebody to ask for the right question, and I think that's the blocker for a lot of people. You don't have access to enough people in your network that are in the place that you want to be. So once you get that is like the limiting factor or the unlock. Being able to ask anybody any question and get an answer in less than a week is kind of like what's helped me survive, I feel like.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Mike. I would say some soft skills that has helped me and that I believe is essential in the workplace and just in life in general is, one, just staying coachable. I think that just applies to life in general, just understanding that we don't know everything, right? And bouncing off of what Dalvin was saying, just, knowing who to go to, knowing who to ask the right question, right? It's not about knowing everything, it's about being resourceful. And that's all these companies or like your manager want to be able to understand is, okay, if you don't know this answer, are you resourceful enough? Do you have the know-how to go out and get the correct answer? Because at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is results, right? And these companies don't care how you do it. Of course, as long as you're not breaking no law or anything, but results is what matters. That's what speaks. So I would say being coachable. Another one is just sort of being able to check your ego at the door. That's something I've really learned because I've been on teams where I had managers that was younger than me, right? I had people on my team that knew much more about me than coding or a particular subject, right? And I think it's important to be able to check your ego at the door and just understand that you can learn from everybody, whether they're older than you, younger than you, whether they're your manager or your mentee, right? So those are two things. And one last thing is I would say an essential soft skill that I pride myself on is being able to adapt, right? The fact of the matter is we all wear different masks based on whom we're communicating with. If you're talking with your homeboys, you could talk slang. You could talk that talk with your homeboys, right? If you're talking to your partner, you're going to communicate a different type of way. If you're in a boardroom meeting, you're going to talk another type of way, right? So sort of just being like water, being able to flow, being able to adapt and sort of shapeshift, but also maintaining your authenticity, right? Not selling out, staying true to who you are. And it's a very thin line, but I think it's something I think we all need to be able to do because different scenarios in life are going to present itself and we need to be able to flow and be able to adapt to that while staying true to ourselves. Emphasis on true to self.
I'm just gonna say one thing. I think I said the last one, and I think basically the things that they've been saying is to be an effective communicator, right? It's a network. To me, I think that's the greatest soft skill ever, right? Because that puts you in spaces, right? Because you could find mentors that way, you could find sponsors that way, right? It's a network. I join groups all the time. I'm part of the Black Product Managers. I'm part of Blacks in Technology, part of Black Men in Tech. I recently just joined Sim Metro, which is is new. It's for executives. I'm the youngest person there. It's like 50. I was able to finesse my way in there, right? But it's just network because to me, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. There's two people that between us that can communicate to the person that you want to reach, right? The only way you can do that is by talking to people, right? Communicating with people, having these conversations, meeting these people. So if I want to get in contact with this person in regards to this company, I can call this person. They may know someone that's at Salesforce, someone that's at Intuit, someone that's at Chip, someone that's at McDonald's, wherever you want to go, right? It's network. To me, if you're able to be an effective communicator, you guys, again, all these certifications, but if you guys also focus that time in regards to 5 people a day in regards to reaching to someone for a virtual coffee, all right, or telling them exactly what you're doing, that can I have 5 to 10 minutes of your time? That 5 to 10 minutes is going to turn to 30 minutes to an hour, right? Because they're going to spend that 5 to 10 minutes talking about themselves, right? That's how it really works, right? Then you get them in the door, you follow up, have constant communications with you. Now let's say it's a company that you want to work for. You did that for 5 to 10 people in that same company. Now everyone is talking about your name, right? So when it comes down to a position, this position that came through the door, I thought you'd be a perfect fit. Comes right to you, right? Again, from networking, being effective communicating, constantly reaching out. So while you guys are focusing on these certifications, bro, companies that you want to work for, target them, find people in those companies. Don't only target recruiters and talent acquisition. It's because they're being inundated with mad people that are trying to reach them, right? I'll target VPs, executives, all these different people as well, because some people aren't finding the courage in order to reach out to them, right? And if they give you the time of the day, these are people who are decision makers that can get you in these roles, right? Then there's certain applications like Apollo.io and things in which if you're able to get one person's email and there's other people in the company, it all follows the same thread. If this person is the first name, dot last name, at merrilllynch.com, the people that you want to hit up, you send a resume to, you can send that same exact email and cold email them to see if someone responds to you, right? It's just taking a chance, right? Those, again, being an effective communicator, knowing how to communicate, networking, and reaching out to people. I think that right there, That's soft skills, and just having the courage that if people aren't responding to you, to keep going and reaching out to these people, man. So like, and you can find out the roles that you want to apply for. You can get inside information in regards to what's needed. Who is the person that's hiring, right? Who is the hiring manager? Who is the recruiter? You can get that. They can even put a referral for you, because some companies, like my company, we get a $5,000 to $6,000 bonus if they stay for 6 months if you refer them. So it's people that they have incentives that they want to refer you because they want money, right? So again, like, just, you don't know what you would get by just, again, networking, reaching out, and being an effective communicator.
All right. We could go back to Dalvin. And the thing that I wanted to know is, do you feel a responsibility to open doors for others? And if so, how do you do that?
Oh, for sure. I feel like as soon as so the first thing, right? So in undergrad, I had 7 internships. I worked for Facebook. I did like a internship at Google. I worked at UPS, and I did all that stuff. As soon as I got my first job, I was bored at the desk, and I was like, I need to be documenting what I've been doing thus far. So I wrote a book. I wrote a book called How to Secure High-Profile Internships. So I took that book. I went to, and this was right around the time COVID happened. So I was on virtual meetings with students, telling them about how I got internships. As my time becomes more limited, I try to find more time to stay close to students in terms of like educating them. And that manifests itself in different ways. So like, I'll become a boot camp instructor to teach coding on the weekends for some programs. I'd volunteered to be a mentor most recently for non-binary and women who want to get into tech. I was like a mentor for 6 months. I did a program with Pinterest, and I did like a mock coding interviews. I try to stay as close to giving back as much as possible, because once you make it, I feel like, man, I need to put other people on and tell them how to get here. I've always been the type, like, I need to keep that bridge wide open. And you get more in your career, you start getting on interview panels. There's good bias and bad bias. So sometimes I'll be on the interviews and it's like a panel of us, and they're like, oh, this candidate, how do you feel about them? And I'm like, it's a person that looked like me. How would I feel in this situation if I could help them and give them a chance? So I put my credit on the line. And sometimes you can't do that always, but if you feel like you could make a bet and change somebody's life based on a decision, that's kind of like how in corporate I kind of try to influence myself, like outside of myself. And then opportunities like this, just speaking, keep talking about the pathways that led you to become the person you are. Because once you forget that and you become jaded, it's kind of like, somebody took a chance on you to get, especially for us, somebody took a chance in some setting behind closed doors, and you will never know. And now it's your turn to like pay that due back. So I always keep that top of mind in terms of like how to influence. And that could start as simple as you get your first job in tech. Now you got a little cousin that's trying to decide what school you go to. And I start pushing tech slowly. Oh, you like apps? Let's make an app together with AI. I'm doing it with my son now. He's 3 years old. I'm teaching him how to type now. And I'm like, you trying to build an app? And he's like, yeah, let's build an app. And I'm like, boom. Like, I want to teach him Creole. So I made an app to learn Creole. And I made a children's book. It's whole 9 yards. But I try to like leave my influence for the next generation beyond me.
To bounce off that, I think it's extremely important to pass the ladder down to the youth. As Dalvin said, right, someone pulled us up and sent the ladder down for us. So I think it's only right to pay it forward. Is one thing I like to say when I wrote this book. So I wrote this book on financial literacy. I grew up in the projects. I'm a first generation college grad. I didn't have nobody to teach me about stocks. No uncles, no older brothers. I'm the oldest. I got two younger brothers. So I pretty much had to take the stairs. So it's a saying. I told myself I'm going to take the stairs and send an elevator back down for the youth. So I took the stairs. I did the hard work. I taught myself the stock market and everything like that. And then I wrote this book as an elevator for the youth to break the stock market down in simple terms, because Wall Street, when you watch the stock market in the news, they use all this complicated jargon, all these complicated words. And as someone coming from the inner city, looking at that and seeing all of those words, it'll make you feel discouraged, like you don't even belong there because you don't know what they're talking about. So I had to really educate myself, and I put it years of studying and beating on my craft, long nights alone, just by myself, because I had nobody to teach me it. I put all of that into this book to really educate the youth, and I also implemented knowledge checks after each chapter as a form of reaffirmation, right? I strategically positioned it to where as soon as they read something, I placed it after the chapter rather than putting it at the end of the book, so I can build their confidence, right? If they read the whole book and then get to the end, it's like they forget the information. So sort of just rewiring their brain in a sense and giving them that affirmation, like, okay, you just read this, boom, here's a multiple choice question. Oh, I got that. It's building their confidence as well rather than breaking their spirit, So I think it's extremely important to pass the ladder down and to serve, right? Life is about service, and I think that's extremely important. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna do one more question, and then I want you guys to promote your personal projects. So my last question is, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice about navigating tech as a black man, what would it be?
Again, I didn't want to get here. I don't even know how I got here. But if I was to talk to my younger self again, I think I would have formed deeper relationships with teachers. Right, that's something I regret, and I think when I was on my master's course, there was a guy. It was in law and governance for corporate compliance, and someone basically by them we had to create like a fictitious company, trajectory, things they want to do, what we're going to sell in regards to our product, and come up with the laws and policies in regards to it. There was one lady. She was close to the professor, had constant conversations, stayed after, etc. As soon as she graduated, she became a CCO, Chief Compliance Officer. Just off of relationship, man. I'm like, damn, why didn't you talk to him? Right? But it's just like one thing I wish I did is I wish I would have formed deeper connections, again, from a networking perspective, with those people that were in those positions, because it's not like high school and stuff. A lot of those people that are professors, and they're already in the industry, right? Or they know people in the industry. And one thing I would tell my is to definitely form those relationships and build that, because those people put that advocated for me to be in a different place, or even at a higher position. Like CCOs, man, like she came out probably making $250, right? Like that's insane, right? Just because she really honed and talked to the professor and built that relationship. I'm telling you, relationships are like, it's insane. It's so different. So to me, that's what I would have probably told my younger self.
It's a great question, Mike. Another great question. If I can go back, one thing I would tell my younger self is to look where the world is headed. And I say that because when I got to college, again, I had nobody to tell me what to major in, right? A lot of times what I see, and I can only speak from, my upbringing in the inner city and in the community, right? I see the parents of other, ethnicities, other backgrounds, they push their students to study fields where the world is headed, to become doctors, right? STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, math, to look where the world is headed. Whereas in the inner city, from my experience, it's like, go and chase your passions, right? in a black community, like, oh, just be happy, chase your passions. Well, you can be passionate about art, right? There isn't that many art opportunities out there right now. Not saying it's impossible, but I think it's important to really look where the world is headed so that we can position ourselves for all of these opportunities that are out here. For instance, there's a lot of engineering roles out here that can be filled by people like us had we studied these particular, fields in college, right? I got a lot of homeboys who did the same thing as me. We played ball. We just wanted to take the easy major so we can just play ball, right? But had we really focused on our studies right then and there, or we had somebody to really tell us, like, look, I know it's hard, but put in the hard work now so later your life can be easier. So yeah, if I can go back, I would have just kind of just put in that hard work and study engineering, to position myself, because I started late, but God is always on time. But yeah, that's something I'll change.
I would have told myself to buy Bitcoin. But you know what? I'm not even mad about how stuff played out, because I feel like because of how my upbringing was growing up in Irvington, it's given me such tougher skin when it comes to getting bad news, getting feedback from people on what to improve on, and like how to navigate this corporate space, because this is a lot of nonsense, especially in like the day-to-day. But I feel like because of what I've went through already, like the worst is like this ticket's not done, or it takes a little longer to do. But it's like I felt like I eventually got there. I wish I paid attention in math class for real, because I feel like I'm now hitting the point where that like the stuff that I learned in undergrad and the stuff that I try to skip and get away from is finally coming up to like bite me. Like, oh, I didn't learn the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, one day it's gonna pay its due. Or like I failed statistics. What project we got coming up for work? Some A/B testing, something. And like I'm telling you now, I'm in grad school. I'm getting like taxed for the stuff that I wish I paid attention to in school, and now it's like I don't even got time to like fill in the gaps. So it's like you're on a treadmill and you gotta keep running, and like I said before, fake it till you make it. And there's stuff that you really can't fake because that time has passed. Once you reach 7-10 years of experience, you can't lie. It's literally you got it or you don't, and there's no time to catch up. So it's like, if you got a little time to like fill in the gaps, do a little Coursera, do a little Code Academy to fill in those gaps on the base level stuff, do it, because you really don't have time to go back. Nobody's gonna take the time to teach it to you unless you get really lucky. But besides that, I feel like I'm okay with how stuff worked out.
Excellent. All right, thank you, gentlemen. I'm gonna have you guys promote your personal projects, and then we're gonna open it up for a couple of Q&As. I'm gonna call on a couple of people to come over here. I'll pass you the mic, and then have you on camera, and then we'll open it up for networking at the end. So you can just go ahead and promote your projects.
Oh man, so every year I take the time to like do random stuff. So first I run an agency called Dalvin Digital Design to help people build websites and stuff like that. I got some books to like help people learn how to get internships. I got this Learn Creole with George app that I'm been promoting heavy now to help people learn a new language. I've been integrating like AI into it. That's like my most fun. I be on TikTok doing daily Learn Creole lessons, and I've gotten, I think, 500,000 views on one video, which was random and fun. I'm just learning, in the mode of learning how people think and experiment with content. So that's kind of like the most recent thing I'm up to. Follow me on LinkedIn if y'all want to connect. I'm down for give advice too.
As for me, some projects, as I mentioned, I'm an author. My book is on Amazon. It's on Apple Books, audio.
The name of your book.
Oh, Be in Control, A Beginner's Guide to Stocks, Investing, and Financial Literacy. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on Apple Books in digital form, paperback. Also, I just finished it in ebook form as well. So, yeah, it's on those platforms. I also post financial literacy content on TikTok where I'm breaking down different financial terms about the stock market in simple terms. The TikTok page is called Simplifying Wall Street. I don't know if you have like any younger siblings or nieces and nephews that may be interested. I do that as my way of just giving back, just free content, just educating people about financial literacy. And yeah, those are the main things I'm working on.
Yeah, crazy thing is that Dalvin Digital, I helped Dalvin create the LLC in the dorm room back out Montclair. But to me, what I'm working on currently, well, I'm a real estate agent here in Jersey as well. But my passion project right now, I'm calling it a love letter to connection, is my application, Audio Me. Again, it's to make reading and listening to books more interactive and immersive. I have like features like voice cloning, multi-narration, basically closed captions in regards to books. You capturing moments and able to transcribe the audio into text in your notes. So I have a couple of authors here, so they must be on my platform. But basically, it's just, to me, I felt like the audiobook space hasn't been there's been no innovation in regards to it. I also wanted to basically, with a fear of AI, of what people have in regards to AI taking jobs. One thing that may put people out of business is voice actors. So my goal is to create a voice repository so I could possibly even give people an incentive and ability to make money off their voice being streamed, right? But then also I wanted to make books more interactive and immersive, because some people may not listen to a book, not because of the author, not because of the content, but because of the voice that's narrating the books to them. So my thing is, my tagline for my application is a platform where everyone controls the story. So you can basically dictate every aspect of your listening experience for you to enjoy books, right? For you to be immersed in books, and for you to love the content and things that are part of books. Learning has been a lifelong journey, and that's why I'm telling you guys. Someone told me in regards to the certifications and things. I have my CSM, my PMP, my 7, my 63, my SIE, data science and machine learning. I haven't used none of that, like, honestly. And it's just from talking to people, and by the grace of God that I'm able to get in some of the positions, but it's from talking, networking. He talked about authenticity. That's a thing as well. In order to get into these spaces and being genuine. Of course, we're going to face a lot of things in regards to a barrier, things to get. But one thing, sometimes even microaggressions. Like sometimes I get told, oh, you're very well spoken. Like, what am I supposed to not be, So it's like just little things like that. But again, like, there's been some people here that I know from the tech world and that I've made relationships for the tech world, and that I can call them to tell them that I need something, right? And I'm able to get it, again, based on those relationships. But the app, it's I launched it, but it's currently, I'm working on some issues on it for the App Store. So I'm gonna give you guys the link, or share it to Mike to share it from email correspondence for you to download it and utilize it. I'm focused on getting content on there as well as users. These are the main things that investors are worried about. And if I'm able to do that, then the sky's the limit. And Audible is going to be my biggest competitor. It control about 40 to 50% of the market. However, people hate Amazon. So I'm using that as a gateway. So if anybody works here in Amazon, I hope you guys. My app is about nothing. It's about financial literacy, being control. But thank you guys for having me.
All right, guys, round of applause for these gentlemen. We're going to open up the floor to about 2 to 3 questions. If anybody has any questions, you can raise your hand. Everybody good? Come on up. You can come on up as well. Come on up as well. We're going to about 3.
Hey, good evening. My name is Sean. Great space, transitioning into cybersecurity from architectural engineering. So one question I had was, what practices helped you build confidence when you know it's only people like you in the room, building confidence in those spaces.
To me, I think it's just that we're all the same, right? So the only thing that separates some of us is like a title, right, in regards to work. So my thing is you just visualize in regards to human, and you just practice from your interview skills being an effective communicator. I don't think that should matter, right? Because to me, sometimes I feel like we're our own. I think we're our own weapons when it comes to the job market. Some people that have given me spaces have been people that are white, right? Or things that have taken a liking to me, right? I had an interview one time, and I was like, I'm trying to be like you, right? I said that in an interview one time to a guy, like a white guy. He remembered it a year later. A position came up. He reached out to me. He's like, "Yo, what you said to me stuck with me." And I'm like, "Dang, what did I say?" It's like, how do I be like you? I'm like, bro, I say that all the time, right? Yeah, I'm trying to get like you. So again, it's just to me, just view them as people, right? At the end of the day, they're doing exactly what you do when you get home. They eat the same. They do every single thing the same. So if you view as them as that, and you don't think about their position or where they are, being them, being Nike or whatever, at the end of the day, they're taking the same train as you. They're walking just like you. So to me, if you're able to just take that out of context and you go as your authentic self, you go being able to communicate and basically talking about who you are and what you can do and what you can contribute to the company, but also from an interview perspective, what we think is that they're interviewing us, right? And that's one of the faults. We have to think that we're interviewing them. Are they worthy of us being there as well, right? So to me, from what I do from an interview perspective, is I try to get them to talk more than I talk. And they were like, "Oh, that's a great interview." In my head, I'm like, "Bro, I ain't say nothing," right? But if you're able to do that, that's being part of being an effective communicator. The rest of it is not going to matter. Everyone is going to be like, "Yo, we like him. He's going to be a great part of the team." Things like that, and that alone gets you through the door. That someone that has, again, 100 certifications, who may probably be smarter than you or things like that. Again, the likability, that being genuine, being authentic, all of those things, and being able to effectively communicate what you're able to do and how you're gonna able to help them, and them seeing that you're a part of the team. Because part of it is like, can they fit in the team? I feel like it'll be easy for you. Don't pay too much attention to this. Just pay attention to, again, they're humans, right? They're regular.
I wish it was cliche, but like that networking is a on and off thing, and it's like some seasons you can't wait until you need a job to start asking for help. Like I don't like really reach out and ask for help. I kind of am more in the giving spirit. So when I really need something, like I really need you to help me out for real, for real. Like, and I think where we get that wrong, or on LinkedIn, it's a lot of like, give me this, give me that, give me referral this, give me. If you never made the investment to like reap what you sow, when people ask for something, oh, you lost your job, now you want to talk to me. But I'm I'm a product of a lot of programs. Black men in tech, black this, black that, black this. They got Discord channels for anything you need at this point. But people there be giving like real advice. I feel like if something I seen at work, I have somebody like I could shoot a text to, like that I've been since I've known since I was an intern, that could help me with that, because I've always made investments in people, not the job. Like job type, you get fired. I got laid off, fired. Thing that's gonna happen in tech. The longest tenure for a role in tech is 2 years, but the people that you meet at these jobs, these relationships last forever. So that's kind of like the investment. Like I know Wadden is from high school. I know Daniel. I don't even know how we met, but like we on Instagram, always in communication with each other. Cause I don't know when he could help me. I don't know when I could help him. It's like, and since we black, you might be in the same room with somebody that you met at this conference 5-10 years from now, and you be like, I remember I met you at Newark Tech Week like 5 years ago. Because our network is small as black people, that the chances of that happening is like exponential. That's our greatest power, that there's so few of us in there. When you meet somebody that look like you instantly, yo, you my homie now. Like, cause we in this for, like, we really in this. I'll leave you with this last one. The first internship I had, the CEO was a black dude. So I sent him an email first day. yo, let's get lunch. He like, yo, I took the lunch because you black, like for real, for real. But now he owns a VC, like a capital. He owns a VC firm now. 5-7 years later, I still just keep in contact with him because you never know when that relationship will be beneficial. So I send him leads for people who need jobs. He give me ideas on how to make my little side projects worth it. So the investment in people is really the most important thing.
Hey, brothers. Keith Dent, host of the Black Men Speak podcast. So one question that I have, just outside of work, what is really your core value that you try to live each and every day?
That's a great question. Keith, you said, right?
Keith, yes.
Keith? One core value I try to live every day when I start my day is being authentic and staying true to self. This world with social media and everything going on, it's just so easy for the noise to be so loud. It's just so much noise out here. So yeah, I think it's very important to be authentic and to be true to self when you walk into spaces and in rooms. I start my day with prayer and meditation. I don't know if anybody's, what you guys are into, but I'm very big on spirituality. To me, it's just energy, right? It's all frequency. That's how I look at it. And I lean more towards spirituality than religion, right? And I think it's very important to understand frequency and energy because you can tell when someone has did the work. Like, you can't escape it. And that's one thing, I love about the work because the only way is through, right? Nobody can do it for you. We can support each other, right? We can all support each other in here. But at the end of the day, you got to take that walk, right? And you can see when someone has took that walk and when they're avoiding it, So I think authenticity and just like, just energy and frequency, just making sure you're present. It's a great question.
I guess one core value is I guess to me it's hard work, man. If I go in a mindset of that if I don't work, I don't eat, right? And to me that drives my day in regards to purpose, right? So everything for me is like, I believe a lot of the richest people in society that have been in the world, they believe in something called time economics, right? So my days start at 3 a.m., right? Some people start at 6, 7. So now if you think about it, I have 3 to 4 hours over everybody each day, right? Multiply that times 7 days. I basically got a whole day in regards to you. 52 weeks in a year. I basically have now gotten at least 2 to 3 months on you, right? That's not including the weekends, right? Based on how you utilize your weekends. So to me, that's how I view things. If I don't work, I don't eat. So every moment, everything I could touch, I do. Real estate, funding, every single thing that I could possibly do. Like, I had a lanyard business I still run, right? And things like that. I'm a landlord. So to me, it's just, I just take hard work into everything I do, and that, nothing to me has been given, and that everything I need to take, right? And I'm Ghanaian. I was born there. My last name means Ajiman, right? It's Aj is to take, right? So it means like ruler of land. So to me, it's like my core value is hard work, and that if I'm able to outwork anybody, right, then I'll be able to get every single thing I want, right, and everything I need to achieve.
I believe in it's like a piggyback off of yours, but mine is kind of like more macro. I believe in the compounding effect of like, what can I do for an hour or 2 hours a day to reach my goal? Because the one elusive thing that we can't control is time. So that's whether it's like, man, I need to get this new cert, man. I need to get as much knowledge about something that I'm working on in as small amount of time as possible, because I have kids now, so I can't even really dedicate as much time to my craft like I used to. So it's just hacking like 5-10 minutes of new knowledge, whether it's through newsletters, through Reddit posts, Quora, to like help me continue to be in the know. Because in tech, like, that's the gift and curse of it. Everything is so new that it requires you to continuously learn. And if you don't like learning, like, you really done in this career. So, like, just like, how can I continue to just get new knowledge every single day, and just kind of like be a completionist and check things off.
Fellas, first of all, I just want to thank you. Y'all was dropping so much gems, I had to fight the urge to clap every time, for real. Also, I did like a Discord, like based off what you said, like literally just now. So if anybody want to connect, like the QR code, like we all can. I introduced myself to the room earlier, but just scan it. You don't gotta give me a number. But again, my name is Khalid, and my question to you guys is, what would you guys define as success in this industry, and do you feel like you reached that pinnacle, whether that be personal or that be like professional? Do you guys feel like you reached that?
I feel like for me, as a software engineer, there's like this itch that I keep, not a literal itch. There's like this need to like lead or like be a part of this big project. Like, one of my staff engineers used to tell me, why are you looking for this big payday? You've done the work already. And I feel like I'm not satisfied with the stuff that I've shipped and been a part of. So I feel like for me, the pinnacle for me is like I'm an Afrotech talking about yada yada technology that I ship to like 1 million users. But like, when I think about it, I've already done that. I've already built product that people have like, that I've gotten dogged on Twitter about. Why did you build this crap feature? Oh, this feature is amazing. I've like, the gift of technology and software is that at a click of a button, you could distribute any idea that you have to the masses, whether that's 10 people or 10 million. And that kind of is like the dopamine or the reason why I'm still doing it. I feel like the salaries in engineering are great and stuff like that, but it's always been the impact for me, because I feel like I get bored easily. So if the problem that I'm not working on is satisfying enough for me, I feel like I get bored, and then I got to do side projects, and then I don't finish the project. That's why the consistency thing is my main goal, because I always want to continue building and putting my stuff in front of people so they can see it. So that's kind of like, for me, my personal thing. Like, I like being flashy about the apps or the ideas and stuff that I release, because a lot of stuff die in the notes app of your phone. And with AI now, you really have no excuse not to make any idea come to life, because it's a $10 a month subscription now, even free. So that's kind of like, even with all the AI apocalypse nonsense, you're gonna lose your job. I'm like, you have the ability to build. It's kind of like being a modern day wizard. Like, you used to have to summon, like, we could build anything you want at a click of a button. You could even talk to it. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. So that's kind of like my fix, or like my barometer, I feel.
I'll keep this brief. I'll say professionally, I feel like I'll say yes, I'm successful. Based on where I'm from, right? I got a lot of friends who not here, who either lost their life to got killed, or to the system. So for me to make it where I'm at, where I'm from, I was looked at as a statistic, like I wasn't supposed to make it out, and just looking at the path that I took to get where I'm at today, I consider that a success. If they was to take it all away from me right now, I'm good, because I know where I come from and I made it out. But on a personal side, I would say it's a constant journey personally. I don't pride myself on material or money. I don't think one should chase money. I think presence, aura, service to others, right? I think that's something that's just going to continue, right? Impact over popularity, right? That's something I more so pride myself on, and I think that's just going to be a continuous thing to the day I'm gone. So yeah.
I think success, from a professional standpoint, especially in tech, is longevity, right? Due to the fact that things change and things iterate really quickly, right? So I think longevity is in finding the ability to be relevant while things change. I think that's what's being successful, especially from a professional standpoint. Personally, for me, success, I feel like it's hard, right? I feel like people that are plighted by ambition, I think it's like a drug, right? In which you don't think what you do is enough, right? And sometimes you get to another pinnacle and it just feels like another day, right? Another what's today? What, Tuesday? Feels like another Tuesday, right? So it's hard. So sometimes just find an ability to just. I think success to me will be for me in the future, hopefully in the near future, is to actually enjoy the things that I've made, right? And to actually like pat myself on the back for things rather than just seeing it as another milestone, right? I think if I'm able to do that personally, that would be a success to me because I kind of don't do that right now, and that's something I'm lacking.
Thank you. We got time for one more open panel question, and then we're gonna open it up to networking for everybody. Oh.
Well, thank you. So first I wanted to say something because I have to essentially let you know who I am relative to what I'm about to ask, and then ask you brothers to think. I grew up with you. I'm from Mercer Street, Hayes Homes, banging, slanging. Like, I mean, you know how. So but that was the '70s when they were like dropping 600 bodies a year. Right, that was really bad. Newark was a hellhole. So I'm the product of I'm a Nation of Islam, Muslim, under Farrakhan when I was there. No longer, but kind of. So it's like that perspective. So what ended up happening was kind of like, preparation meets opportunity. So I was able to get out by the skin of my teeth. I went to Stevens Institute of Technology, earned a degree in engineering physics. Then I went to the University of Chicago and got a double master's in economics and MBA. I've helped build Hotwire, WebMD, Realtor.com. So I've been doing this for 40 years. And for example, my partner ran IBM. He was the third top guy at IBM. So it's like that perspective that I'm about to kind of say what I'm about to say. AI is the truth. It is going to. We've been doing this since I was there at the dawn of the internet. Right, I started working on internet things in 1994 because I was a consultant at Deloitte and Touche, helping restructure Prudential and that kind of thing. So we were there during the dawn of that thing, and all the stuff that they said about the internet is the same stuff they're saying now, right? And we didn't do it. This is our opportunity. It is the single opportunity, the greatest single opportunity that we have ever had as a people to make this change. We have to embrace artificial intelligence like it's our mother. I'm very serious about this, right? You don't have to learn to code. In fact, coding is about to be a dead art form. The application I've already built, you just talk to it and it will build your business. It will build the artificial intelligences, it will build the agentic agents. I'll say it right now, next year it'll be worth $1 billion. And if it's not, when I come back, you have to just throw eggs at me. Okay? Okay? Because it's like that, right? I mean, I play with those players. And what's going on right now in the industry is that what you really need to learn is economics. It's about business, right? You have to have the ability to describe to the artificial intelligence the type of business that you're trying to do. You have to understand economics. Right? You have to understand how revenue works, how pricing works. A lot of the stuff that you were talking about, how customer service is going to work. Because you'll just be able to describe it to artificial intelligence and it will build it and it will create your whole business for you. Right? So you just have to learn that language. I mean, just like the brother was talking about earlier, it's just a language. I was just talking to somebody the other day at Invest Newark. When I was in my economics class, they taught us something called loss leader, which is the same thing about yellow tops being put out on the street, and then you get better drugs. That's how they bring in drug dealers. And I was like, man, that's the same stuff we learned in the hood. It's just a different language. So there's nothing new about economics. It's just a different language that we need to learn. Right, so join that Discord, join every Discord and listen and learn those things because the AI within the next 6 months will be the greatest opportunity that you have. Each one of your businesses will flourish because you'll just be able to describe. You and I just saw what you just did with Sora, right? You just described it and it did it for you, right? That's going to be true for everyone. So that's one thing I wanted to say, and I wanted to get your opinions on that about, because I know it's kind of contrarian to what you just said, but the AI is really at that level at this point in time. My son works for OpenAI also, right? So I've been very blessed to come from where we come from and to kind of do this thing. So I know what's happening in the background, so I sit with those people, right? Yeah. Yeah, on what I'm saying, because we have to embrace it. I'm begging
Yeah.
us to
Let me
embrace
take it
it
further.
like
I get
it's like never before, because it's a single opportunity to do that.
So to me, I think I somewhat agree with everything that you've said. AI is definitely is the future. But the thing is that again, just like he was saying, they feared social media, they feared electricity when it was being developed, the steam engine, but they always fear things before is an innovation, right? It's just because the understanding of not understanding was what leads to fear, right? But sometimes fear can't lead us to stagnation. However, right now in the complexity of how AI is, right now AI is an enhancer, right? I don't think AI is the product, right? And I think that's what some people fail to realize in regards to AI is everyone is creating these chat boxes and these AI applications, right, without taking the users into account, right? In regards to sometimes from an AI, from prompting, people use AI, but they are not understanding the full complexity of how to really utilize AI, right? It's providing the context, prompting it, having it do certain things for you. However, there's some things that you can't use, like what you're describing as vibe coding, right, in a sense, right? In regards to it actually giving you a complete product, there's certain things that come into in its effect in regards to data security, things like that. It can be things in regards to a foundation aspect to create the basic coding so you don't have to do the non-foundational things. But I feel like there's certain complexity when it comes to coding, especially coding a product that's for specific users that's supposed to take certain things into consideration that I don't believe it currently does. But in regards to you having it to enhance it, I feel that we should collaborate with it in order to enhance the things that we're already building, because it could take certain things that we haven't thought of in order to basically improve what we're doing. But to use it to create a complete product, to say is a complete version, I don't think currently where we are with AI is not
6 months, right?
we're not possible. I think it's a little more. Yeah, we'll discuss that later.
Yeah. And to bounce off the good brother, I agree. I don't know if you guys heard of the term human in the loop. I think when it comes to AI, there's at this moment there's a human in the loop, right? Meaning you can't just take AI blindly. I use AI at work to write code. For me, again, vibe coding, right? That term. I vibe code a lot at work, but the thing is, you can't take it blindly. You still have to apply it to a specific use case, meaning you still have to understand the code, right, to be able to pinpoint when there's an issue and knowing what type of question you need to ask it, right? So a lot of times, yeah, I get the foundational template, but I still have to go through that code and make updates and continue to reiterate each time for my specific use case based on what my company want me to do. So it's not like you could just go in blindly and be like, all right, give me this, and then you could just plug it in and just run with it, you know. So yeah, you still have to have some knowledge of the code and how to correct syntax when there's a specific, you know, syntax error, you know, and things like that. Just troubleshooting. I look at it like a puzzle, you know. It's just putting pieces to the puzzle and knowing what questions to ask, you know. But yeah, I agree with you, brother.
I feel, to bounce off both of y'all points, it's always like it's a tech plus. It's kind of like it needs something to build the context off, and it's like it's an enhancer, like y'all was saying. I feel like right now a lot of the knowledge it trained its ideas on is like open on the internet, Stack Overflow, Reddit, all these public places, especially for the code. Where it gets it from is open source technology. Some of this technology dates back to the 70s and stuff like that. So there reaches a point where it runs out of information for it to train on, and it needs new information. Sometimes the information that it tries to come up with is not good, which is the hallucination, where it's making up stuff that don't exist. Or if it trained its information on data sets that were intentionally bad, a lot of hackers are now creating repos for it to train on and are purposely putting bad code in there for it to learn, because then you create vulnerabilities. So as more AI startups pop up, there's going to be like 20 security startups that pop up because people are creating vibe coding apps that are terrible, for lack of a better term, which will then hire us to fix. So it's like, go ahead, vibe code as much as you want. We all gonna eat effectively because of the ecosystem. But as more things consolidate, the big players like Google, Apple, all of them are gonna make their money regardless. And that's when the consulting and freelancers that come from this room are gonna make money in each lane. So it's like a big like chicken and egg thing. Like, oh my God, all these jobs are gonna be available, or there's a new AI startup being spun up every day. A lot of them gonna tank because there's no value in them, or they have no branding, or people like us don't want to use it, and we run the culture anyway. So then they're gonna hire us to then put our input to the AI. I spend, for one line of code that the AI write, I feel like I spend an hour reviewing it, because it's usually very good at making things look very good but not work. So I have to go back and fix it. So that's kind of like the loop, I feel like.
Okay, I'll be quick. 30 seconds. Oh, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Darius. I just wanted to say my man beat me to it, but we should all link up in the Discord. Be ashamed to forget. And side note, if you ever want that exact answer for the chicken or the egg, it's always the egg. Biology answered it. Always go to the smallest building block. But I'll keep it quick. Some of us are not exactly the youngest spring chickens anymore, and it gets harder. We don't all have as many gray hairs as our friend, but some of us are growing if you look. So what would your advice, real quick, be for those of us who really need to break into tech quick, but might feel skittish because we don't have that much previous? I mean, you touched on it, but like, touch on it with a little bit more urgency. Sorry, I went over 10 seconds.
All right. I'm on Quora a lot, reading posts from 40-year-old engineers talking about, I feel like I passed my prime. I feel like there's always, like, right now, if I had to learn code from scratch right now, I'm telling ChatGPT to give me a 90-day curriculum on what I need to learn at this time right now to get me a job. And I'm like going foot to ass on how to implement it, going on LinkedIn, reaching out to recruiters, using the information that he talked about, spamming people's inbox. That's what I used to do in order to get the interview. But there's a lot of faking it till you making it. Like I said, if you don't got a company, you make an LLC, make the experience up so that you could get a job, so that it looks like you have the experience. It's not faking it. You got a friend who need a website, that's experience. You need a cousin who need a website, that's experience. You got a pastor who need a new thing, this, that, third. You just got to implement, because at the end of the day, the thing they're going to ask you on the resume is not like what cert you got, is like what the experience is. If you can't make the experience, you fake the experience. With AI, it's mad easy to make it look real too. So it's just like, you know how much, like in the beginning, all them dummy projects that I used to create to make it look like I was like that and I really wasn't. It's kind of like, I feel like that's the mode that you have to be in, especially at this later stage in what you're trying to get into. But you have experience. Tech is a tech plus. Everything that you did in your previous industry carries over. You just don't forget that. If you were a chef, you a chef and a engineer. You could work for a company that does that. The first job I got into was fashion and tech. This tech plus. So anything that you previously did before this, you just add it to that, and then you accelerate, because nobody could be you at the end of the day. So you have all this experience. All you gotta do is learn some Python or something, and then you finesse that, and that's how you get in for the urgency. I feel like it sounds easy though.
What industry?
Well, gotta wrap it up, but personally, I suppose I have two twin issues tugging at me. I want to wrap it up because I know we got to get home. But I see myself either going into AI engineering, software engineering side, building software, or more like Croissant, but more so the quant finance route. One person, I suppose my favorite white person that died last year was Mr. Jim Simons, a pioneer in algorithmic trading. Instead of these not so smart people you see bragging about their returns on trading, this guy was one of those math wizards that just made models. He didn't even know how to read financial statements. He just made models and code and got the smartest people on earth to do his bidding. That type of stuff.
I mean, I feel like a quick way, I guess a speed way, I guess I'm an opportunist, from an opportunity standpoint, is legacy coding, right? So if you're trying to get into the finance aspect, I think, I forgot what it's called, Dalvin. Cobalt, there we go. Cobalt is a kind of like an archaic, it's also for the banking and finance industries. Yeah, it's for the finance industries.
Isn't Python the more modern, the data science?
But I'm telling you about an opportunity, right? So right now we're what you have to realize is that a lot of baby boomers are retiring, right? So people know all the new age coding language in regards to the Python and things like that. What's a value add is to learn the legacy in which the people that are retiring are no longer there in order to understand how to utilize it. So that makes you, from a quick standpoint, it makes you a value add because now there's some systems that they haven't integrated right into these new age things, especially from finance. As you know, finance, healthcare, those types of industries, they integrate slower, right? There's things that are still there that they're going to need someone to manage. And with baby boomers retiring every year, to me, I feel like there's an opportunity that if you learn this, while everyone knows the C++, the Java, the JavaScript, etc., you come in with Cobalt. It makes you more interesting, right? And then you can possibly get the legacy coding aspect of things, basically provide you and cement you in regards to a job role, and also actually make you an employer. Because there's some people from a Cobalt standpoint, if they know, they could possibly make $400 an hour. Because again, it's archaic. No one knows it.
Yeah, I want to give everybody the opportunity, everybody who's still here, the opportunity to step out if they need to step out. But let's give a round of applause to the panelists. I also want to thank you guys for coming out. I'm going to open the floor up to everybody so everybody can commune and talk to each other. We got the space till 8 p.m. So you guys can speak to each other if you like to. But we're just going to wrap up the whole audio video situation. So thank you guys for coming again.
I have one question for everyone.